Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I'm Lisa Natoli, and let's get this party started. I am seeing people coming in to the room right now. It's filling up very quickly, and we're really just going to go right in today. And this is 6 steps for staying clear in your purpose. How to get rid of distractions. I'm going to give you a lot of content today. I'm going to give you the 6 steps that I took that really transformed my own life. And let's see here. Let's see who's in the room here. Here you all are. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you all. We've got a full house today. So let's just settle in and just get started. Like I said, it will be really good for you to have a notebook and a pen. And I really think it would be best if you just listen to my voice. I'm going to give you a lot of content. I have everything written down because I don't want to miss anything. I want you to get the full value of today's content, which can change your life. Absolutely. 6 steps. And you're really in the right place. So if you're here, chances are you want to take it to another level. You have done the 40-day program and you want to keep going. You want to feel uplifted. You want to feel inspired. You want to know the truth of who you really are. You want to stay consistent in peace and joy. You want to get rid of all of those grievances. You want to know your purpose. And you're in the right place. But the reality is you keep getting distracted. You keep getting sucked into other people's stories. You keep allowing the body's eyes to tell you where you think you are. You keep feeling emotions of negativity, of shame, of blame, of judgment. And that's why we're here today, because these are normal responses. And there is a way for you to train your mind to stay clear in your purpose. So I welcome you here and really just stay present with me. And what I'm going to be doing at the end, I'm going to give 2 very big gifts. So for those of you who stay all the way to the end, we're going to end at 11:30 today. We're going to be together for 90 minutes. I am going to give you a free gift that I created. It's a daily checklist, and it includes the 6 steps for staying clear, which I'm going to give to you in this 1 hour. And at the end, I'm going to be taking questions. And this is a printable sheet. It has all 6 steps on it, and you can use these steps every single day. It has questions on it. I did it this morning, actually, before I came on to this webinar. I'm going to talk about that here, of what happened to me thinking about coming on here and delivering a message, and the emotions that I went through, and how I shifted to come on here. And I use these 6 steps, and it really is important that you have practices to bring yourself back to your center, to come back to clarity. So this is the first thing, and you just stay to the end. I'm going to give you the link for this. And the second bonus I'm going to give you is something we've never offered here at the Teachers of God Foundation. And it really is for anybody who has been wanting to take our Living in Purpose program, and you've just been feeling you can't do it because of the money or whatever other excuse you've had. We decided to do something we've never done before, and we're going to offer it at the end. So if you've taken the 40-day program and you've had an amazing experience and you really just want to keep going, stay to the end. And we just feel so happy for what we're giving today. And for the rest of you who really just feel like, I don't want Living in Purpose, I just want the content, I got a lot of good stuff for you today. I really wanted to just load today's workshop with everything you need to stay clear, stay in your purpose. I'm going to share my own story. And I also have some people that are going to come on and share their stories. So it's going to be jam-packed for the next 90 minutes. So welcome. So I'm so happy to see so many of you in the room, and we're talking about distractions. So I'd like for you to write in the comment area, what are your biggest distractions? What is keeping you from staying clear and centered in your purpose? And we all have our own distractions, and I just want you to type them in. I want you to think about what it is. For me, it was Facebook. Like, it's just a distraction for me. And for many others, it's fear, it's judgments, it's not knowing what you want. So if I can just have you type in, just think about what are your own biggest distractions. Okay, here we go. Netflix, current job. There, you guys, keep these coming. Fear and judgments, the phone, Facebook, Twitter, food, fear, movies, not knowing my purpose. Oh, they're coming in fast now. I love you guys. People pleasing, drinking, judgment, worry. So we can see we all have very similar distractions. These are the things that are pulling us off of our purpose. And I love A Course in Miracles because it really is a way to devote our minds to healing. And laziness, fear, we have a lot of fear in here. Work, believing my stories, feeling too much, financial, depending, worry, not having a routine, yes, fixing others. Thank you guys so much for these just great answers, because this is really what all of us are experiencing. And it's so perfect that we're meeting together days before the new year. We're moving into 2018, and it's great to have a practice, and that's what we're going to do today. So what you're going to learn today is you're going to learn how your thoughts are creating your world, how to stop being a victim. I'm going to give you an action plan for staying in happiness and joy no matter what's happening around you. And you're going to learn what your triggers are. You're going to learn what your beliefs are. You're going to find them yourself, and how to not let them distract you from your purpose. So like I said, it would be a really good idea to have a notebook and a pen. I'm going to just really go really fast today, and just going to give you everything you need. And to start off, I want to tell you my own aha story. I want to tell you how I began, and I'm just going to pull my hair back here. I'm just like so grateful to be here. I can see myself on the screen. I like my hair back. There we go. So for me, I've had A Course in Miracles since 1992. I found it with Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to Love. I was living in New York City. I was working in publishing. I had a really great job in marketing and promotion. And I got the book. Like many people, I had no idea what it meant. I was attending Course in Miracles groups, and I was really struggling. I was suffering. I was alcoholic. I was depressed. I put on a happy face for that job. I really was just following the rules of the world to be successful, to be liked, to be loved, to be happy, to hold my relationships together. And that went on for years. And I kept reading A Course in Miracles and talking to people about A Course in Miracles, thinking about the ideas in A Course in Miracles, and nothing was changing for me. And then in 2000, many of you who know me know my story. I stood in my living room in Brooklyn, New York, and I said, God, if you're there, I'm all yours. And still not much changed. And then I decided to go to an academy in Wisconsin for A Course in Miracles. And I had an amazing experience there. I wouldn't change it for anything. But the reason I'm telling you this story is because I did external things and still my inner world did not change. So when I moved to Wisconsin, it was an Academy for A Course in Miracles. There was 250 other people, amazing, dedicated people in this place. I moved back to New York. I gave all my stuff away. I just decided I'm all in. I just want to be happy. I want to be at peace. And this place is going to give it to me. And we met 6 days a week, every day, and we had Tuesdays off. So 6 days a week, I met with a master teacher, and we just were dedicated to the ideas in A Course in Miracles. And I'm sharing this story with you to tell you that even though I was totally dedicated externally and in a place where you would think I would have a complete shift, still I was depressed. Still I was in doubt. Still I was in fear. Nothing happened. I was just up and down. I'd have moments of clarity and joy when I was with the group and when we were in that space together, and I was just feeling like, all right, I don't have to worry about anything else for those couple of hours we were together. And then I would go on to my own, and we'd leave the room, and I would fall right back into my old habits. And I used to pray to Jesus in my room. I had a picture of Jesus, and I would put it on the bed up against the wall, and I would be on my knees talking to Jesus. I would beg him to please bring me peace, to please bring me purpose, to please bring me healing. And I was just so sincere. I was just like, please, I'm here for you. I want to do this work. Nothing happened. And the reason I'm sharing this story with you is because I know so many of you have the same experience. You buy books, you join programs, you say I'm all in, you are just, your heart is so sincere to just really be available to be the light of the world. And still we fall back into old patterns. And so I was there for 10 years. I was there for 10 years. Again, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, but I really could see that nothing was changing because I wasn't changing. I was still expecting the external world to change me. I was expecting a Jesus to change me. And my aha moment, my turning point came in 2012. It was in the spring. I was living in Rochester, New Hampshire with my love, Bill Frey. And I had no money. I had no job. I was working as a Zumba instructor. I just decided, okay, I need to make money. I got certified as a Zumba instructor, and still no money was coming in. I was teaching 3 classes a week. I put out this little donation box every week. And I came to this point when I recognized, okay, I need to change. Not my external picture, but I need to change what I am doing in my mind. And I made this decision in 2012. I remember it like it was yesterday, that I was going to be uncompromising in this work. And I'm going to give you the 6 steps that I took during that time, because I knew A Course in Miracles was true. I always knew it. That's why I went to Wisconsin. That's why I gave all my stuff away. I knew it. I knew these ideas were true. I knew that the world that I was experiencing was happening in my mind because of my thoughts. And I couldn't figure out, why am I not changing my external world? Why am I still in doubt? Why am I sick? Why am I in shame and guilt and blame when I know the ideas? Why is nothing changing? And it's because I still had a foot in 2 worlds. I really was just still in the head level. I was not practicing these ideas. And in 2012, I made a decision. I was going to play it like a game. And I just said, okay, that's it. I'm 100% now. I am going to practice these principles, and I'm, to the best of my ability, not going to compromise. And my life transformed. Immediately. It was immediate. And I'm going to go through these 6 steps now. And I really want for each and every one of you to experience what I experienced. So I just thank you all for being here. So I hope you're ready with a pen and some paper. I'm going to give you these 6 steps right now. What I did in 2012. And again, I'm going to give you a lot of notes. So stay present. And the first step was to take 100% responsibility for everything that I saw. That's step 1. So what I did here, I wrote down all the notes I want to give to you. I'm just going to be reading. And there's a prayer in A Course in Miracles. It's called the Responsibility for Sight. Many of you who know A Course in Miracles, I'm sure, have heard about it. And many sincere Course in Miracles students and teachers get this prayer wrong. And I'm going to read you the prayer, and we're going to go through it. And this is also in the daily checklist, which I created, which if you stay to the very end, you'll get a link to download that. So take 100% responsibility for what you see. So I had no money. I was in debt, 10 years worth of credit card debt that I had been ignoring. I was full of fear, and I'm going to take total 100% responsibility for what I see. So I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. Now, many Course in Miracles students take I am responsible for what I see and use it to put themselves in guilt and blame. So maybe you have cancer, or you have problems, or you have pain, and you say, okay, I'm responsible for cancer, and you make yourself guilty. That's not what this means. I am responsible for what I see. I either see problems or I see love. So I'm just going to tell you what happened to me this morning. I woke up this morning, and I know I have a 90-minute webinar, and there's going to be many people on it. I see there's 180 people in the room right now. And I got really nervous. I just thought, oh my God, I can't wait till it's over. Like, I thought that. I woke up and I was just full of fear. I'm responsible for what I see. I actually went through these 6 steps. I had printed the checklist for myself, and I went through them. I am responsible for what I see. So I am seeing fear. I'm seeing just worry about the future. And I was like, I'm responsible for what I see. And so I changed my mind in that moment, that I see an amazing joining today. I see a lot of people receiving information that can change their life. I see that this is going to be the funnest 90 minutes, and people's lives are going to be completely transformed, that they are going to take these steps that I'm going to give them, and they are going to apply them, and they are going to experience joy and freedom. And I was like, yay, oh my God, I can't wait to be there and to give the things that I used that helped me. And that's all I want. I just want for everyone in the world to experience this freedom and this kind of joy. I am responsible for what I see. I see light. I see love. I see grace. I'm responsible. I choose the feelings I would experience. So I thought, okay, the feelings I experience. So I must have chosen fear, because that's what I woke up to this morning experiencing. Can't wait till the 90 minutes is over so I can relax. Oh my God. So I really was like, okay, I choose joy. I choose appreciation. I choose love. See, we are the deciders. We're very powerful. You are so powerful. You, in every single moment, have the power of decision. I choose grace. I choose innocence. I choose holiness. I choose the emotions I would experience. What are the emotions that you would experience? So, total 100% responsibility for everything that you see. And the responsibility for sight prayer, it is life changing. So if you have cancer and if you have no money, if you have all these pain and the problems, you're responsible for that. But that's not what the prayer means. It doesn't mean that I'm responsible for causing sickness. It means I am responsible for what I see. Do I see the problem or do I see the possibilities? I'm responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I would experience and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. Okay, so that's beautiful. So I decide upon the goal I would achieve. So I thought about this workshop this morning and I said, I decide upon the goal I would achieve. People's lives are going to be transformed. I decide. I don't know how many of you are going to take this information and run with it. I hope as many as possible. But I set an intention. I'm going to give my all, and I see people taking it seriously. And that was my intention. That was my goal. And you set the intention at the beginning of the day. What is the goal that you decide upon you will achieve for the day? And so every day I do this, and that's again in this checklist and this is what I did in 2012, where I thought about how am I going to show up in the day? And so that leads me to step 2. So step 1 is take total responsibility for what you see. Step 2 is to decide to live in a new way. That's step 2. And that was very important for me in 2012, where I had been living in a certain way. I had been waiting for events outside of me to change. I was waiting for money to come in. I was waiting for just something to happen. I was living in a space of wishing, wondering, hoping, praying to God. Even though I had a Course in Miracles for 20 years, I still was praying to a God that was outside of me. That's amazing, right? And I recognize the immediacy of the miracle is that I'm already everything that I want. I'm already the light of the world. You're already the light of the world. You already have everything. And so it really was this decision to live in a new way. I am going to live as the truth of what I am consistently. And I played it like a game. It really was. I love this comment here. Thank you, Linda. No more being a victim of anything or anyone anymore. And we're deciding now to live in this new way. Starting from today, I invite every single one of you to make this decision. So what's the new way? So that's what I was just expressing from step 1. Is I decide upon the feelings I would experience. I decide upon the goal I would achieve. This is the new way. So the new way is gratitude, generosity, joy, innocence, peace, happiness, living in purpose, that you recognize, okay, no more waiting. So you have new habits. So the old way has particular habits. And that's all the distractions that we all put down on the board. So our old way is Facebook, Twitter, getting distracted by stories, living in fear, overeating, being addicted, all of those things that you wrote down that were the distractions are the old way. And now you are making a decision to live in a new way. So living in a new way means that you're going to have new habits. What are the new habits? So for me, I had a morning routine and I continue to this day. And I get a coffee, I get back into bed, and I get really quiet. I get really centered. I have my notebook. This is my notebook. I keep these morning page journals in here. I just happen to use this particular notebook for several years. And I talk to God. I talk to Jesus. I get really quiet. I have a relationship now with myself. And I listen. And we're going to get to that. That's another one of the steps. But that really was my new way. And I was going to follow through with action. That was my new way of being. Before, I was constantly having divine ideas come to me, and I would not follow through with action. And now I really said, okay, like all that debt that I had, I said, in my new way of living, I pay my bills. I am responsible and I pay bills. And I had no money, no job at that time. And I still said, but I still can live in this new way. I don't have to figure out how to do it, but I'm doing it. And it's an emotion and a feeling that you experience. And for me, what I did, I called all the people I owed money. I called them all. I put myself back on the map. I said, here's my address, here's my phone number, here's my email. I apologize for not paying my bills for the last several years, and I don't know how I'm going to pay this debt, but I'm going to pay this debt. And I paid it all off in 9 months. It just was that living in a new way creates a new energy field. You change your point of viewing, and the energy changes. You get into a new vibration, and you show up in a new way. You're expressing yourself in a new way. You're really, it's a place of discomfort for a while because you're so used to living in the old habits. But once you get into the practice of it, it's amazing. And so my new way was I was more expressive. I was more bold. Bill and I had the idea for the 40-day program. And in the past, I would have just thought about it. But this time I did it. I actually showed up. I made videos. Bill helped me. We had the idea for the Teachers of God Foundation. We had no idea how to make that happen, but we kept taking a step. That was my new way, to live in a new way. That's step 2. I was much more present. I was so distracted before by worry and fear and blame and guilt. I felt constantly overwhelmed. And my new way was to be present, to enjoy life, to show up like a kid, to play like a kid. I wanted to create space in my life where it was fun again. That was my decision. I'm going to live in a new way. I saw God in every face. I read that from Florence Scovel Shinn, and this is the beautiful part, is you hear things that other teachers say, and you can claim it as your own. And you know, Florence Scovel Shinn has this one beautiful prayer that I read in one of her books, that I see God in every face, I see good in every situation, and I just latched right onto that. I said, that's it. From now on, from this day, I see God in every face, I see good in every situation. I see you. I see the love that you are. And that is amazing that you can just decide to do that right now. That's why the miracle takes no time, like Jesus constantly is telling us, is just that, okay, I'm going to live in a new way. And even if you're sick, even if you have no money, even if you have problems and pain, this is your starting point. You have to start where you are. Don't wait for things to change, because remember, A Course in Miracles tells you that what you think you see out there is a reflection, a total mirror reflection of the thoughts you've been holding. So you have to change your mind first, and then the picture changes. So if you knew that, if you knew that your thoughts were creating your reality, would you change? I would love for you to post in the comments. If you knew that, if you knew that you had total power to change your life, would you do it? And like, would you just say, okay, I've heard about these ideas and I've read about them. I've done the workbook lessons of A Course in Miracles several times. I've done the 40-day program 3 times. But if you knew it, would you change? Would you pay more attention? Would you be more vigilant? If you knew it, totally, you would. Yes, you absolutely would pay closer attention. And so that brings me to step 3. So step 3 is uncovering your hidden beliefs. So the light that is in you is always there, ever present. It's changeless. It's eternal. The only thing that is covering the light is our own hidden beliefs. Jesus in A Course in Miracles calls them blocks and obstacles to the awareness of love's presence. I love this. I love seeing the posts come in. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes. All in. And I love that it's happening right now before the new year, because this really is a space where, like, I have my own aha moment from 2012, right? I can tell you that was the turning point for me. I made a decision to change my life, and I said, this is it. This is crazy. I've been on this path for 20 years. I did the workbook lessons for practically that many years also. Went to an academy surrounded by people, and still, why am I always in doubt? Why am I always getting distracted and falling back into these old patterns that I say I don't want? It's fear of the unknown, fear of really stepping in, and it is an unknown space. It is going to be scary for a moment. And that's why it's great when you have support. It really is amazing when you can see that someone else has done it, and that really is what made me want to do it. I had read about other people who have used their life as a testing ground and seen how dramatically their life transforms. And so the same way I have 2012 as my turning point, that you can have this moment, 2018. You will remember it was right before the new year. I remember the day exactly. I was on this webinar, and I just, like, it was like, oh my God, yes, I can live in a new way. Like, I can experience this joy and this freedom. And it does take a moment where you really are just uncovering all of the things that have been blocking. So step 3 is becoming aware of your hidden beliefs, and this is the work of A Course in Miracles. In my mind, this is the whole Course in Miracles, is that you're finding out what are your blocks. And each one of us has our own personal blocks, and you can't release them if you don't know what they are. You have to have the willingness to find out what these blocks are. So what I put down on this sheet, which again I'm going to give to you at the end, is every day you have as a practice to look at your thoughts. So what is going on in my mind today? How do you find your hidden beliefs? You have to watch yourself like a hawk. That's what we did in the 40-day program, right? You find out. I can't tell you how many people I meet who, how do I say it? They say things to me and they don't know it's a belief. They just think it's a fact. I have no money. They just say it. They said, no, I have no money. I said, that's a belief. They said, no, I really have no money. I said, yeah, that's a belief. And I only know it because that was my experience. And so I'm sick. That's a belief. That's what are your beliefs. It's whatever is your thoughts that are going on in your mind. So I have no money. I'm alone. I'm a failure. I'm sick. If you guys want to put down some of your own beliefs. I'm tired. That's a belief. I was tired this morning when I woke up. Every morning I wake up and I'm more tired when I wake up for the first few minutes. But that's a belief. Like, it's just It's just a location for the moment. And you become very disciplined in catching your beliefs and changing them. So I'm angry. I'm angry is a belief. You might think that's an emotion or a feeling. No, I'm angry. That is a belief. And it can be changed. Beliefs can be changed. Someone hurt me. That's a belief. Whenever you say I can't, that's a belief. I'm fat. That's a belief. Good one. Thank you. I'm a procrastinator. I'm lazy. Yep. Belief, belief, belief. It's amazing when you start to see the ego's tricks. You really can see, like, whoa, like I am using the body's eyes to look at the body or the external world to tell me who I am. That's insane. Now we're going to allow ourselves to be in a practice where we are paying attention to the light and let it lead the way. So I can't. I can, whatever it is, I can't, and then fill in the blank. That's a belief. It won't work. That's a belief. I tried it and it won't work. It's all, these are beliefs, and these are things that keep us in limitation and littleness. These are the mind games. You can just see it's a thought that's running a loop. Another big one for people nowadays is this food makes me sick. I'm gluten free. I can't eat sugar. It makes me sick. And so all of those beliefs can be changed. So you can turn them all around. This is how you live in a new way. So I have no money. No, actually you have everything. You came in with the light. It's the only thing you brought with you from your native home. It's all you need. It's the only thing Jesus had. It's you learn to work with the light that you are, and it's all you need. You have everything. So when you say I have nothing, I don't have the opportunities you have, Lisa. I don't have the things that you have. I don't have the know-how to create a website. I don't have this. No, those are all beliefs. You have everything. Turn it around. And so, again, the one I hear the most really is I have no money. I can't, I have no money. And I can't, I have no energy. Same thing. And so you are now in a mind training discipline where you're watching your thoughts and you're changing them. What comes after your I am? Very important. Watch yourself all day today. I am blank. That's your belief. So you're training yourself to get into your I am as the truth. I am light. I am joy. I am the presence of God. I am connected. I am joined. I am not alone. So you turn I am alone from I'm not alone. And you start to see at first there might be resistance to these ideas because you think that's just not true. I don't have everything. But when you live in this way and you are just saying, I do have everything. I do have the ability to be generous. And if you have nothing external to be generous with, you can be generous with your attention. You can be generous with your love. Think how much love you have. You're multi-billionaire in love. You have so much to give. Your presence is everything. Your attention is gold. And so really you are a miracle worker. You're taking these base metals, which are your thoughts, the darkness, and you are transmuting it into the light. You're transforming it. And as you do that, you get lighter. The darkness, that heaviness just pulls us down. It literally is like getting sucked down into the old habits. And you turn it around and oh my God, I am a child of God. I can have fun. I can ask for help. That was a big one for me. A new way of living is to ask for help. I did everything by myself. Everything. That was my way for my whole life. I was a caregiver. I took care of everyone. And my new way of living was like, I'm going to relax and I'm going to ask people for help. And that really is just an incredible thing. And so that brings me to three more. Is so we've gone through the first three. Take total 100% responsibility for what you see. Number 2, make a decision to live in a new way. And number 3, become aware of your hidden beliefs. Number 4, you're going to love it. Forgive everyone and everything. Period. That's it. You want to hold on to your story, or do you want a new life? And you really can see this is where half the people fall away. This is really the test that weeds out those who are sincerely serious about doing this work with those who are just all about lip service. Because when you seriously want to join Jesus in the Great Awakening, he says a beautiful thing is to join with him, to share his aim of healing the mind. You will let go of everything. And so this is really where how do they say it? The rubber hits the road, or whatever that is that are you willing to forgive everyone and everything? I want you to type it in on the board. Because a lot of people say they are, and they just can't. They say, you don't know my childhood. I was abused, and I have had so many people that have just done terrible things for me. We all have. We've all had people who have done terrible things to us. Do you want to hold on to that, or do you want freedom? Do you want joy? Do you want to see miracles? You have to clear the space where you just say, I'm done. I'm done with littleness. I'm done with I'm done with limitation. I'm done. I want to be free. And I love the way A Course in Miracles says it, is forgiveness recognizes what you thought your brother did never occurred. So this really is the way. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. And that leads me to step 5, which is connected to forgiveness, which is to listen and work with your inner guide. So forgiveness clears the space in your mind. That's really the way that you can begin to hear the voice for God, which has been speaking to you all along, but you cannot hear the voice for God while your mind is cluttered with your judgments, your grievances, your stories. When you're thinking about the past, you're thinking about the future, you can't hear. And so now you're allowing the space to be clear, and guess who's clearing it? You are. You are showing up and you are saying, okay, that's it. I'm in. This is my year, and I'm in, and I'm doing this. I am going to forgive everyone and everything. And you will know when you're not ready. There'll be one little person there, and it's usually you. You're usually the last person to forgive. You forgive everyone and everything, and then there's you. You still hold the judgments against yourself. And so the reason forgiveness is so powerful is because you're really recognizing is all of that mind chatter is a block to the light that you are. And that's why you feel tired. That's why you procrastinate. That's why you feel bad. The light that you are is literally in a prison house of your own making. And forgiveness clears it all away. It just clears. I don't want to hold on to anything. Say that. I don't want to hold on to anything. And if you mean it, type it in the board. I don't want to hold on to anything anymore. Like I'm clearing the slate. And just like it past is over. I'm ready to forgive. I'm done. And so now the space is wide open. And this is brand new territory for many people. And it really is a space where you do have to have trust. You do have to have courage. Because we're so used to listening to these voices in our head. And to me, I just said, I want to hear the voice for God. I want to work with my inner guide. And that's why I really stepped in and said, I forgive everyone and everything, because I want to make that connection so strong where I'm hearing that voice, which is here in me. That's way more exciting to me than holding on to my stories. And you can't see the invisible. You cannot see this presence and this power. So you are learning to work and listen to your inner guide. You're learning how to work with the light that you are. And finally, the sixth step is devotion and dedication, that you're going to choose a spiritual practice for living in purpose. That to me was really the thing that tied it all in together. Devotion to this, that you're not just going to be devoted for an hour and then fall back. It's total devotion. Say, I am all in. I am doing this now. I am so tired of all of these years of being half in. Like, I'm all in. And this really is the fuel that empowers the decision for step 2 to live in a new way, to be totally devoted, to find a spiritual practice, find a community, find support, meditation, find a spiritual practice that is going to help you to live in purpose. In A Course in Miracles, it says, God in his devotion made you devoted to everything. So what have you been devoted to? You're already devoted. You've been devoted to pain, to problems, to difficulties, to stories, to judgments, to grievances. We're already devoted to littleness. So now we're changing our devotion to magnitude and glory and innocence and holiness. I'm devoted to seeing God in every face. I'm devoted to you. I'm devoted to everything. I'm devoted to remembering the truth of what I am. And so those are the 6 steps. And I'm excited now to bring on 2 people who I've asked from Living in Purpose, our Living in Purpose Mastery Program. And I've asked for them to come on and share their story. I'm not sure who's coming on first. I have Sherry Miller and Nicole Witt. And I really invite you all just to really stay here for the remainder of this. We have about 40 more minutes, and we're going to offer an amazing offer here, because when you hear these 6 steps, the main thing that comes next is like, okay, now what do I do? Like, now what do I do to implement it? Like, how do I stay consistent in it? And I would love to just know who's ready to do this. Who's really ready to live in a new way and to forgive everyone and everything. Total 100% responsibility, learning to work with your guide, and having a daily practice. I want you to think about also the times and how valuable it's been to have support. Like, to me, this really was the space where I had first built support. Like, it's really good to tell people what you're doing. Like, I have found that. It's like you're really setting an intention now where, oh, thank you, I'm 100% ready. I'm all in. I love it. Okay, who do we have here? We have Sherry on, and there she is. Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
There you are. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the full space of the screen. You look gorgeous.
Okay.
And what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to actually get rid of my video down here in a moment, just to introduce yourself, your full name, and I'd love for you just to share briefly how you used to be, the practices that were really valuable to you in living in purpose, and how you are now. Really, I just love your messages that you post in the Living in Purpose page, and I just really wanted people to hear from you.
Okay, thank you so much, Lisa. I'm so excited to be here it's like a dream come true. I remember Bill Free saying that he stood behind the podium at the ACIM conference one year, and then he was speaking at it a couple years later. So that's kind of what it feels like. I came from the alcoholic path. So I was a alcoholic and a drug addict, and I smoked cigarettes, and I went to jail, and I was homeless for a year, and I got sober, and I was really, really unhappy. And it says in that book, it says that God's will for us is to be happy, joyous, and free. And then I find A Course in Miracles, and that's all it says. And I don't know how to be happy. And I've Googled how to be happy, and it says to say it out loud, I'm happy. And so I found Lisa. And I took the 40-day program, and I knew that this was the truth, and this is what I wanted to do, and this is what I needed to do. And it was $1,000 to take the next class, and I didn't have any money. I really, really didn't have any money. So I didn't have a credit card I could put it on, and I didn't have any money. And so I just did what Lisa said to do, to say, okay, God needs teachers and he needs me. So I started saying out loud that I was a minister, that I'm going to be a minister, that I'm going to take this class, and this is what I'm going to do. And I told people at meetings, and I told my family, and I said it out loud until I believed that that was what's going to happen. And in the meantime, I took the 40-day program again. And I had the IRS. My paycheck was being garnished. I mean, I really, really, really didn't have any money. And then it all just happened. When I decided that that's what I wanted to do, it all became okay. And it was like, I can't imagine not have done doing this. Like it's worth my whole life. It's worth everything. And so anyway, about the best practices, the most amazing practices were this I'm done with it box. So I changed my God box. Instead of asking for things, I changed it to an I'm done with it box. And it's a practice in one of the weeks. I'm not sure which one. And so I was done complaining. And of course, I wasn't really done complaining, but I started being done complaining and being done with conflict, and being done with being miserable, and being done with worrying. And so whenever I catch myself doing those things, then I re-up with the I'm done with it. And some days I'll have to write it down 1,000 times, and I have a big box full of I'm done with it. And then there was all of these places in the book where Jesus says, it seems like this. So I got to understand that what I was seeing wasn't the truth, that it seems like I have a job at a grocery store and I don't make any money. But the truth is that I'm here to laugh and have fun. And like Lisa says, to eat cake, but I'm really here to eat ice cream. So one of the big practices was the waking up in the morning and knowing that I'm here on a mission. And because I've been in 12 steps, I know what living just for today means. So I get to be on a mission. I'm here for 24 hours. I'm here as light and love in this world, and I'm going to be awake, and I'm going to be listening. And thank you, God. So that's right next to my bed, and it's the first thing I see. And let's see what else. So I started this relationship with Jesus, and just to make it really clear. So what I was really like is I used to come home and I would cry in the driveway. I'd sit in the driveway and cry. I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent. And all of this was happening at 8 years sober. So I don't know how much more time I have, but the great IRS story is Lisa said God needs teachers and he needs me. So I pray first. I call the IRS and I ask the lady if she's got a minute to speak to me. And I tell her, I'm scared. I've been scared for 8 years. I've been hiding from you for 8 years, and I want to get honest, and I know that the problem's already taken care of, and can you help me, and what can I do? And she said, honey, I've got 30 years of sobriety, and I'm going to help you today. And she said, you can't afford to pay us, so I'm going to scratch this. So anyway, they took away the debt. They did something, and the IRS doesn't do that to me anymore. And I'm not afraid, and I pay my taxes, and I pay my bills, and I have a credit card now, and I'm moving to Seattle, and I'm going to be a grandma.
Thank you with all my heart, Sherry. I did not know that money story until just now. That's amazing.
Yeah, you told, well, I'm trying to not tell my story, so I never let you guys know, and it was seemed to be embarrassing and all those things, but it was serious for me. It was real. So anyway, it's not really.
That you came on, because I actually asked you to come on just because of the messages you post all the time in the Facebook page. I'm like, oh my God, this lady is just like having this amazing life. So I'm sitting here like in amazement to hear the money part of it, because I didn't know that you were homeless or in jail or any of that. So I thank you with all my heart, Sherry. You are minister of God. You are teacher of God. And this world really does need the light that you are shining. So I thank you with all my heart.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, I have one more person I'm going to bring on. She's going to share her story, Nicole Witt. And like I said, stay tuned. Those of you guys who are here, and I'm very excited to have Nicole Witt on the call. Welcome, Nicole. Did you hit the sound button on your?
Maybe there we go. Can you hear me now? All right.
So I'm going to do what I just did. I'm going to take my little video off the screen, and then I'm just going to ask you to introduce yourself, your full name, and then just briefly in about 5 minutes, how you used to be, the practices that changed your life, and how you are now.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Nicole Witt, and I found Lisa about 2.5 years ago. And before that, I was very new to A Course in Miracles, had tried to work it on my own for about 6 months and had basically given up. And then I just randomly happened to, of course it wasn't random, but found Lisa, and everything changed from there. Before, I was basically a walking victim. That's how I felt, that my life sucked, and it was, everybody else's fault, or, it was, my marriage wasn't good. It was my husband's fault, my parents' fault, my ex's fault, my boss's fault. I didn't like my life at all. And of course, I also felt that even though I was blaming these other people, there was still something really wrong with me, because I wouldn't be with people who were doing this to me if there wasn't something wrong with me. So I walked around a lot of times with a lot of resentment, and just really not seeing a way out, but searching for one all the time, going from one thing to the next that I thought was going to bring me happiness. I was, convinced that it was my job. If I could get out of my job, then I would be happier. And so I would have one idea, and I would try that for a while. And as soon as anything really started to look like it might come together and I was getting uncomfortable, I would quit. I would come up with a reason why this wasn't what I was supposed to be doing, and I would quit. And then I would feel bad about myself and feel like I'm such a failure and what's wrong with me. So when I found the 40-day program, just everything really started to turn around, and I decided to go for it, living in purpose. And for me, it was just the most next logical step. It was just like, yeah, why wouldn't I? I was already feeling like that this was it. This was the path for me. So, in living in purpose, the things that really made a difference to me was, first of all, what started in the 40-day program, just really becoming aware of my thoughts. I didn't even know that I could be aware of them, really, like take that pause and think of and look at what I was thinking and get some distance from it, and see how that was playing out in my life and how I was attacking other people and myself, even in the littlest things, and where that was coming from and my motivations for how I was showing up in the world. So really watching my thoughts, becoming super aware of them, and knowing now that I have a choice, that I can see that thought and realize that that's not the loving thought and I can change it. The other thing, the encouragement to start a morning practice has really been one of the things that has changed my life. Just the commitment to do it. I had always, one of the things, like I said, that I had always, wanted to get out of my job. And one of the reasons that I gave myself was because I hated getting up so early in the morning. I was sick of it. I didn't want to have to do that anymore. And with this, it was asking me to make a commitment to get up even earlier. And I just did it. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. And making that commitment and that willingness to spend that time, I really think showed to myself that, yes, I can commit and do something when it's important to me. And it gave me that confidence. And so spending that time every morning with God, I usually, when I'm doing the lessons, do the lessons, do the living in purpose practice, and just getting quiet was really a great way to start my day. Even the part where she talks about before my feet even hit the ground to go get the coffee, before I come back in bed, saying a prayer or remembering who I am before I do anything has really made a difference. Because I used to wake up every morning and it would immediately be, my life sucks. This sucks. I don't want to do this. So now I start off the day in a much more grounded, positive place. The forgiveness work that is in Living in Purpose was also incredible. It really helped me to realize that every choice that I was making, to how I was holding things, was my choice. And it was just the meaning I was making of things. And that everything that I thought had been done to me was really my interpretation of it. And I could change that. And that really helped a lot. Having the support of the Facebook group was amazing, because in my life, my everyday life, I didn't have a lot of like-minded people around me that I could talk to, that I could get excited with. And when, I had a miracle happened, or I had a big aha moment or a big realization, I wanted to tell people, I was so excited about it, and say, oh my God, this really works. And so the Facebook group gave me a place to do that. And the monthly calls were just awesome. I mostly listened to them on recording in my car. And it just really, again, helped me center my day back and forth to work, just to have that place to go where I can get in touch with God and what's really true before I just go out into the world. So how I am today, I think that I am just so much different. It's so, I can't even imagine how I was all the time. But one of the major things for me is, I still have like things that will seem to get me down, and maybe it will last for an hour, at the most a day. But the funny thing is, now that I can totally step back and be aware of it and see the conversation that's going on, and actually laugh at it. Like, I can see myself having a pity party or a temper tantrum, and I'm just like, oh, that's funny. Okay, what are we reliving now? And I can't believe I used to be like that all the time. And now I have a choice. And I am just really concentrating on, what is true in the relationships of people, and not being sucked in by what seems to be happening in my world. And it's amazing, because the more that I allow myself to be sucked in and to think that I have a problem, the more things are shifting, and I'm able to be in a place of joy and love, and to go through the day remembering that the point is to be who I really am, which is love, and to give love and light. And if I'm not feeling peace, then I know that I have some inner work to do, and something is coming up to be forgiven and to be worked with, and that I don't have to be running around trying to find something outside of myself that's going to make me feel better, that it's all an inside job. And that's so powerful, because I don't have to rely on the outside world anymore, that I get to choose how I spend my day. So I think that's it.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Oh my God, that was awesome. And it's been so fun for me to watch the transformation in you over these years, and just really to see you come into this place. And I'm so grateful for the practices that you shared, because those really they really do work.
Yeah.
I think all my
you.
heart. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so those are just two of many, many transformation stories. Like the other day, I was watching this movie, Heal, and they had a couple of transformation stories in it. And it's a great movie. I loved it. But I thought, wow, I never really tell people about the stories that we hear, like the things that we hear. And it's fun for me to see people's lives being completely transformed because they're doing the work. So it has to be an all-in decision. It's like the stories I was telling earlier, where I did so many things and I thought the thing was going to change me. It has to be you do the work. And there's so many programs, not programs, but practices in Living in Purpose. There's 6 months. So what we've done is we broke it up into 6 months. Each month has a theme, and every single month has 4 practices, 4 weeks of videos within the month. So month 1 is trust. You're creating a real solid foundation for yourself for miracle working. You're trusting in God. You're trusting in this light. You're no longer depending on yourself anymore. Month 2 is forgiveness. Month 3 is healing. Month 4 is resting in God. Month 5 is renouncing fear in all its forms. And number 6 is being a light in the world. And this is where you step in to your ministry. You step into that full inheritance that is yours. And clear. Whenever you have a difficulty, whenever you feel your peace disturbed, you're going to say the responsibility for sight prayer, and then really look at, like, what are my beliefs? And you're going to look at, like, all right, this one about forgive everyone and everything. Who or what in my life am I still judging, holding a grievance against, or wishing would change or be different? You're going to you're training your mind to find the blocks and the obstacles, and you're willing to let them go. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. And it really is, it's an amazing journey when you take your place as a minister of God. You take your place as a savior of this world. This is your world. That's why you're the savior of it. Let's see, I'm looking at the messages here. I see Linda and Bill. And I'd like to ask Bill if you'd like to come up for a moment, or come on. All right, there's Bill. Welcome. I'd love to hear anything you'd like to share.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good, good. Well, first I want to say thank you for putting this webinar together. Thank you and Linda and Amy and the team for putting this together. And also thank you, Nicole and Sherry, for stepping forward to discuss to just give a testimony of what it's done in your own life. And I know I've seen hundreds of testimonies that are like yours. And I saw that Donna Marie is also here. She was one of the first ones to come on and give a testimony. And I just really want to say thank you to all of you guys that are stepping forward and telling others what it means to say yes. Because in my mind, the sixth item that's on this list of the 6 steps, the sixth item is the most important item that you could possibly use. It's also required. Until you make a full 100% dedication and give yourself fully in devotion to the truth, you'll be blocking the truth with what you thought you were. You'll be blocking the truth with littleness and egoic separate ideas and the things that make us suffer for our whole life until we make a decision that it gives us, and that's number 2 in the 6 steps. We make a decision for a new way of living. We make a decision to live differently. And I just love these steps. I mean, they're so practical. Taking 100% responsibility is the responsibility for sight. Most people in the world, first of all, when you tell them that they are responsible for their experience that they're having, most people will say, no way am I responsible for what's happening to me. What about accidents? I was in a conversation with someone at dinner the other night, and I just sort of posed this idea to this person, and they said, no, accidents don't count. Accidents happen, and I'm not responsible for the accidents that happen. And you are responsible for every single thing that happens to you. It's happening at your own request. Nothing happens to us without our own consent, including death of the body. And we can have the experience in this time and space, this dream experience, as the dreamer of the dream that's asleep, or we can have the experience of the dreamer that's awake. And that's you. And once we're awake, we first need a guide. We need a physical guide at first. Course in Miracles, one of the ancient teachings of Advaita Vedanta or some other non-dual teaching, is very helpful. A Buddhist background is very helpful. But you have to have a physical guide at first until you come to realize that you have your own internal guide. Your own internal guide is waiting for you to say, hey, would you help me? I need help. Would you come and give me a hand with this? And as soon as you surrender to that, and most of us that find ourselves on this spiritual path, we start with surrender because we're tired. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we're tired of beating ourselves to a pulp by not knowing how to manage ourselves in life. And then the help that we ask for, and that's a key component to it, we have to ask for the help before it will come. And for me, it was when I was 27 years old, and I had a little bit of a story like Sherry had. I was drugs and alcohol. I had a little 2-year-old child that I was responsible for as a single parent, and I needed help, man. I was like, help. And the help that I sought actually did come after I got on my knees and just all by myself, and I said, help. God, if you're there, if you're really real, I need help. And the help that I needed came to me in the form that I could understand it and work with it. And I quit drugs, alcohol, everything in one day. And I stayed clear of that. I've never picked drugs up again, and I only picked alcohol up again for a little bit of time until I realized that even alcohol was a distraction from my one purpose, my number one devotion is to know thyself, to know God, and to experience the fullness and the presence of God in my life every day, which I do now. I experience the fullness and the presence of God in my life every day because I made that one decision for a new way to live, and I made another decision that I would give my life and my devotion to God. And thank you for letting me come on and share with you. I love you, and namaste.
Namaste.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill. And it's all here for you. And to me, living in purpose is really just a great way for support to keep one on track. And use this checklist. Thank you guys for staying for this whole time. You are the light of the world. And this world does need light. It needs you. It needs you in your presence, in your power, listening. And so I give thanks to you for being here. And you're not alone. The love of God surrounds you. And you are the holiness of all the light that there is. And now go forth and shine it. So thank you for joining me. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. I love you.